Hi everybody, my name is Victoria Gutierrez and I'm an attorney here at Goyette, Ruano Thompson. Today we're going to be talking about what wrongful termination actually is. And the first thing to consider is that unfair doesn't mean illegal. So say you're in a sales position and for that month you didn't meet your quota. Now say Joe, your coworker, is also in that same sales position and he also didn't meet his quota. Your boss then turns around and terminates you. Now, in and of itself, that is not illegal. It does seem unfair though, but there are some bases for when something is unfair and illegal, and that's what you need consultation on from an attorney. There are two types of wrongful termination. The first type is contractual wrongful termination, and the second type is wrongful termination in violation of public policy. Now let's talk about the first type. Contractual wrongful termination can be based on two things. The first is if there's a specific term in your employment contract that states you will be employed for a certain amount of time. So say a year or 2 years. If your employer then terminates you prior to that year or 2 years ending, that could potentially be a basis for a lawsuit. The other type of contractual wrongful termination includes if there's a clause in your employment contract that says you can only be terminated for good cause. Now, California law has defined what good cause actually is, and that includes being terminated for something that isn't trivial, capricious, that's unrelated to business necessities, or if it's pretextual. If any of those bases are there, that could also be a potential liability for an employer. Now let's talk about the second type of wrongful termination, which is wrongful termination in violation of public policy. Now, California is an at-will state, which means that your boss can terminate you for any reason as long as it's not unlawful. So an example of that is, say your boss completely hates Crocs, and that day you decide to wear Crocs because your foot was hurting or something. Now your boss could turn around and fire you because he just completely hates Crocs, and that's okay, and that's not illegal. But if the real reason why he terminated you is because you have some sort of disability that you asked a reasonable accommodation for, including wearing Crocs to work for a certain amount of time, then that could potentially be actionable. And that's why you need to speak to an attorney about those types of specific situations that may seem unfair and potentially illegal, but you're not really sure if it is or not. In California, it's illegal to force your employee to violate a state, constitutional, or administrative regulation or law. Here are some examples of cases we normally see related to wrongful termination in violation of public policy. Imagine that you're a service worker and you're complaining to your employer that you haven't been paid for your overtime and your meal and rest breaks, and you're thereafter terminated. That can be a basis. Say that you're experiencing sexual harassment in the workplace, or you witness sexual harassment in the workplace and you complain about that, and thereafter you're shortly terminated. That could also be another basis. Or lastly, say that you are being treated differently and discriminated against because of your sexual orientation or because of your race or religion. And after complaining about that, you're thereafter terminated. And these are all bases for public policy violations, because if somebody's being discriminated against, retaliated against, or harassed, we want that to stop. In California, we want employees to speak up when they see something illegal happening in the workplace. And the way you can do that is by contacting our firm, Goyette, Ruano Thompson. We can schedule a consultation and we can go through the facts of your case that are specific to you. That will then enable us to decide, do you have a case? Do you not have a case? Was it illegal or not? The key takeaways you should take from this video is, in order for you to allege wrongful termination in violation of public policy, or if it's contractual wrongful termination, you need to be terminated. That's the number one thing you need to do. And the other thing is that there needs to be a causal link between your report of something illegal and your actual termination. We look forward to hearing from you, and please check out my other video on discrimination on our website. Take care.